I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Revelations, and I didn't really enjoy that all too much compared to the second game. So I've had a good 6-year break from the franchise, so coming into Assassin's Creed Origin was a real fresh and unknown feeling for me. But was it worth it? Set in ancient Egypt, you play as a Magi called Bayek who is out to stop a chain of corruption and revenge and so forth. Typical story stuff. I'm gonna be honest and say I'm not all too invested in the story for reasons I should explain in a little bit, but what I am invested in is the gameplay and the world of Egypt. Reasons why I'm not invested in the main story is because the game is huge, like really big, and the side quests are fun and act like main story missions in their own right, which is keeping me busy. And exploring the world of Egypt is so cool, there's just so much to see. Trying to find treasures in camps and ancient tomb secrets and star alignment stones, murder clues, scrolls that unlock weapons, hunting the wildlife to upgrade your gear and getting XP for exploring. And taking out the bad guys is just really good fun. So I'm turning the game into how I want to play it, which at the moment it's letting me do. I've done a handful of story missions and played over 30 hours of gameplay, and my current player level is 30 at the moment. And so far it's not restricting me on where I want to go, which is a good thing in my book. It feels very organic exploring on my own merits, apart from the higher missions and enemies outside of my level which do kill me in one hit, but when that happens I just end up continuing doing some more side missions and exploring a little bit more until I'm ready for those missions. The game clearly takes elements of Witcher 3 and has given Assassin's Creed Origins an RPG overhaul, with loads of mission variety and locations which all give you XP and gives you an incentive to explore, and with loads of loot and weapons to find in your typical RPG style with common, rare and legendary items that can all be sold or upgraded along with your player level. Origins also has a player progression system that is very addictive and comes with perks to fit your own playstyle, being an all-out cray-cray action nut or a sneaky stabby in the shadows like an assassin. The option's there and it doesn't force you into one path, which is nice. You basically play how you want to play in the end of the day. Combat has a very Witcher and Batman feel to it, looking out for key movements onto when to block and evade. It's fairly standard stuff these days. It all flows very nicely, and as long as you don't lock onto a target in heavy fights, because switching to other targets in mid-fight doesn't always go to plan, so it's best to just freestyle the combat. Combat isn't boring when you engage in a fight, it does look cool. You know, there's your standard enemy types from weak, medium, heavies and bow and arrow types, but you know, they all rock different weapons, so it mixes it up here and there for you. Along with the wildlife to look out for as well, like lions, crocs, hippos, snakes and more. Now Origins sort of does have like a Prince of Persia feel to it in places, and I do reckon the next Prince of Persia game will follow in Origins' DNA. If you want to take the stealthy approach and plan ahead, you have your trusty pet eagle, which can scout out areas for resources, enemies and treasure locations to help you plan your attack on campsite and fortresses, which for me never gets old. It's always great to enter a high level fortress and steal some loot and gain some XP. You have loads of weapons at your disposal as well, from swords, spears, heavy blunts, axes, and a range of bows from your standard hunting bow, a rapid firing one, a shotgun-like bow that fires multiple arrows at once, that's pretty cool, and a long range bow for sniping, so you're never short of weapons to suit your playstyle. And when you find some legendary weapons with added perks, it really mixes things up. You even get your own mount, which gets you around the world like Roach from Witcher 3. Damn Roach. And much like that stupid thing, it has issues here as well, unfortunately. Sometimes when you call the horse, it doesn't always arrive, or it gets stuck in a wall, and sometimes it can't follow your own marker and just stops in the road, which can be annoying when you're trying to use auto move for long journeys. But your horse can't climb buildings like you can. Holding down the shoulder button jumps and climbs for you in a very smooth and organic way, and really makes climbing a fun part of this game. Pretty much everything you see can be climbed up to give you an advantage point or for the synchronization spots. It's because they act as fast travel markers, so it's a good idea if you want to get around fast. Or just run everywhere manually and see all the cool stuff around you, because the world feels so alive with day and night cycles, and the occasional sandstorm really adds to the living world. Egypt is so nice to look at in Origins. Sometimes you just gotta stop and marvel the sights. Graphically, it's pretty damn stunning. With a huge open world map, it's impressive to see the vast locations and the detail and textures it gives off, with no loading screens unless you fast travel or on some story missions, but overall it's very immersive. And the water effects are really good as well. It all reacts to you and other objects pretty realistically, and the reflections are stunning as well. So what's bad about this game? The AI, they can be on the ropey side. Sometimes you can kill a guard, and the guard standing right next to him won't always notice you, but then other times they can spot you from freaking miles away. It's just not always consistent. They're not smart either, as a simple run round the corner can pretty much lose them and they'll just lose interest in you. Only some of the higher ranked guards or in fortresses they'll actually try and seek you out, but for the most part, they're a bit special and they break the flow of the game at times. They even get stuck in the environment, which is annoying. They don't always act correctly when they suspect you. Sometimes they just go completely in the wrong direction, which is a little odd to see. The sound design in the world is decent. Hearing the NPCs in the busy towns, to the wildlife, to the open deserts all sound impressive. But when talking to people, it can be an issue, as there's been a few times that no dialogue is being played apart from my own character. So I've had to turn the subtitles on just to know what's going on, especially in story missions. The game is big, but it's also very grindy, a little too grindy, and the low XP and cash you get from doing missions and selling goods to upgrade your gear is done for a reason. It's to get you to buy resource packs or time savers with real cash. Yeah, there's a freaking optional microtransaction store. Now I was originally going to really tear this a new one in a very in-depth rant, but I'm not doing it anymore. Only to say, don't look at it. You don't need it. Just play the game normally and enjoy it. There is no reason for you to even go to that bloody store. There's far better weapons and outfits in the game, so just don't bother with the cash store. Just stop giving publishers a reason to put this crap in our games, and it will die. So overall, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. There is no hiding that, and for me, that's what's important. So in light of that, I'm giving Assassin's Creed Origins a solid 8 out of 10. Yes, Origin does have a few issues, but it doesn't stop it from being a fun and enjoyable game. It's like playing The Witcher 3 but in Egypt, and what's not to like about that? Either way, you're going to have fun with this game. Oh my god, they moved. They're Egyptian dildos. They are so Egyptian dildos. Look at them. Look at them.